call to order this special meeting. I called this meeting so that we may discuss, reflect, and plan for the future of the Stockbridge Council on Aging. First off, I guess, with holding a meeting, we need the approval of the February minutes. Did everyone look at those?
No, I don't think I did.
Andrea sent them. You know what? We'll pass on that. We'll pass on that. Okay?
She sent them to our phones, the email?
Sent email, yeah. No worries, no worries. We'll do it next month. Old business. New business. Moving forward. First of all, I'm going to read Polly's letter that was submitted to the selectmen. I can envision director's position. It's about the director's position. I can envision combining the three towns of Stockbridge, West Stockbridge, and Richmond to create a multi-town senior center. A board made up of representatives of each town. This tri-town council on aging would manage transportation, programming, meal site, building use, capital improvements, budgeting, and grants, utilizing a full staff of outreach coordinator, administrative assistant, transportation coordinator, and of course, a director. My suggestion for Stockbridge as a single town council on aging is to have a program coordinator in place of a director, since most of those jobs duties listed above are already taken care of by town staff and outside agencies. Okay, having read that,
Can Andrea hear us or?
Andrea, can you hear us? Good, good.
We can't hear her though.
We cannot hear you.
Can we hear her?
Yep, I was muted.
Okay.
Now we can. Welcome.
Good morning, Andrea.
Good
Morning, everybody.
All right, I want to take a minute to review where we started. Post-COVID, we created the senior center after years of no true activity. After a wonderful, well-attended grand opening, we as volunteers got to work to create what we were capable to achieve. We currently offer 2 yoga classes, walking group, foot care nurse, tech support, Tuesday Meals on Wheels lunches, bingo, the pancake breakfast, which I think we're going to stop unless one of you want to take that over, and the ukulele group that a couple of people go to, some of which Polly started. Thank you, Polly. Moving forward, keep all except for pancake breakfast, unless as I said, one of you want to take it over. I don't make breakfasts. We can take turns on Tuesday Meals on Wheels. It's quite successful. We got the bingo players going, so we have up to 15, and it's fun. It's fun. But it's JoJo and I doing it, and we really need another person. So what I was thinking of is maybe having each of you would take it one day a month.
Sure. Yeah.
Willing?
Yeah.
Ron?
Yeah, I don't know what I do, but
Oh, you'll be doing things because 1 serves, 2 waitress, and then all the cleanup. So, but we can continue that in a minute. We can take turns on Tuesdays. I will take it over and attend every week. Are you willing? Which I just asked. The big question here is, where do we go from here? Given Polly's suggestions to the select board, what are your thoughts? Do we carry on with this, running things ourselves? Do we try to hire again? Do we wait for select board response to Polly's letters? We reviewed her recommendations. The floor is open.
Oh. Well, in the short time I've been on the board, and prior, I attended many of the Wednesday luncheons. And after recently, going to the luncheon, we signed up as we walked in the door. And sometimes there was like 20, 22 people signed up. I mean, that were already there.
When we were doing the monthly luncheons,
Right.
yes.
Seems worthwhile to me to try to keep it going. At least try. There's no guarantees.
I'm saying keeping us going and the senior center going, not just the luncheons.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's how,
she's
yeah.
drawing a line in the sand as far as what she thinks we need and present it to the selectmen. What do we as a board think the town of Stockbridge needs?
I think that Stockbridge needs to continue with the senior center in Stockbridge.
Right.
I think that it would be very difficult for our participants to take themselves to West Stockbridge or Richmond.
Or wherever.
Or Great Barrington, whatever.
Yeah,
And
I agree with that.
yeah,
As do I.
I think it's very important that we remain
A tri-town thing, just as far as I'm concerned, will not work.
Right, and then we wouldn't be a board any longer, of
Right,
course. It was a-
correct.
Somebody would just be a representative.
Exactly, on
Right.
board.
right.
But that's not the bigger thing. The bigger thing is what is best for our folks. And though right now we have a smaller group, the hardcore folks that really enjoy what we're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
They like our times and not, and the yoga and, I have up to 5 some days for the walking group and they just enjoy it. Better still, bingo runs itself, but they are joining our lunches, which is a lot of fun. Riverbrook ladies join us and which is, wonderful. I just see, as you said, that if we go in with other towns,
Not going to work.
no. And even though we may be small, we are providing a service for our elders. How do you feel, Ron?
You can't get the people to come down here. How are you gonna get them to go elsewhere?
Right.
And the ones that are going to Barrington right now are not leaving. The ones I've spoken to, they're not coming back.
Okay.
No, that's just.
So you've done some scouting, Ron.
Well, yeah.
Ron knows a lot of people.
I used will get in trouble by opening my mouth.
All you can do is ask people,
Right.
are you interested? Are you not interested? Are you going out, to
Do
Barrington?
we go to that point? Do we send out a survey and say?
We have already done that. You're gonna get the
We
same
didn't,
answers
no,
over
we've
and
done
over.
a survey for what they're interested in and got very little response. But if we send out a survey saying, would you participate if we turned into Tri-Town and you had to travel elsewhere?
Well, you already know what that answer's gonna be.
We think we do.
Yes, we think we do. You're right.
Yeah.
And we base it on what we see downstairs.
Right.
And that's what we base it on. I don't know what the answer is. I really
No,
don't.
this
But,
is, this is quite a
well, it's
problem now.
uncharted territory.
It's uncharted territory for us, yeah. And we've worked hard for 3 years
And I quite
to
honestly.
achieve what we've done.
You're right. I quite honestly think we really should try to keep it going and see where it leads. Maybe after 6 months or whatever, we'll just say, okay, we gave it a fair shot and it's not going to work. Or it'll go the other way. And we'll have, like you said, the hardcore group. And maybe there'll be more.
Maybe there'll be more. Then that goes to the next subject with this is go ahead,
Go. What does Andrea think?
Ron,
Yeah.
Andrea?
Andrea.
I agree with what Kathy said. You can try to keep it going. I'm gonna guess with just the board running it and not hiring for 6 months and then reassess.
Yeah.
Very good thought.
Well, that was my next question. On this one, it was so surprising that, and statements made that really kind of blew us out of the water here, to put it bluntly. I think we should wait for the dust to settle. After the last or previous director, we wanted to go right out and advertise and get the right person. Now, this person hasn't worked out. That's the way I feel. I want to let the dust settle. I don't want to, and where Polly spoke of issues of not even having a director, just having a coordinator instead of a director, I disagree with that myself. I think it should be a director.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a director to just bring everything together, and it isn't really necessarily, it certainly isn't the job of the board. You know, I think we can certainly do it in the interim, but,
Yeah.
you know, not
Eventually,
forever.
but eventually,
They need.
Right, we don't want to be doing this
no,
indefinitely.
no, not really.
No.
Right.
Neither do I. Andrea, any more thoughts? Throwing the ball at you.
No, I agree. You don't want to do it indefinitely. And maybe in 6 months, you'll have a better idea of a program director, program coordinator or director. Maybe somebody will approach the board with how they seem to think that a tri-town COA might work.
Okay.
I don't know that it would work either, because I agree, Ron said, we can't get them to come down to Stockbridge and they live in Stockbridge. The chances of them going somewhere else is probably slim to none.
I thought exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
agreeable.
I gotta mute because my dogs are gonna start barking.
They're agreeing with you.
They agree, huh?
Take care.
Are you leaving?
No, she-
All right, she just muted. Okay,
Oh, I see what you're, okay. I thought she was, well, it doesn't matter.
they're big dogs. Excuse me. And then I guess the icing on the cake for this discussion, are we all staying, Heaven?
Did we have someone else coming in there?
Barbara Zanetti's name was up there,
Oh,
and I'm not quite sure.
Barbara Zanetti was trying to
oh, Barbara?
join. Is she gone? It looks like she might be gone.
well, that would have been had fun to have someone join us. Okay,
She's head of the Chamber of Commerce, right?
Chamber of Commerce, yeah,
Yeah, her input would be good.
yes, for sure.
Who is that? I'm sorry.
Barbara Zanetti? She's,
Oh, yeah,
The head of the Chamber of Commerce.
right.
yes.
Okay, my next question is, are we all planning on staying on the board? Does anybody feel discouraged and thinking they've had enough? I'm putting it out there.
No, I mean, I would, you know, stay for the interim and.
Yeah, I want to see, I want to see where it's going.
Okay, Ron, good.
Yeah, I want to see where it's going.
Good, good, good. Thank you all. And Andrea, you're staying, right?
I will stay. I'd like to see where it's gonna go as well.
Okay, good, good. We're a united front
Yeah.
on this.
Because we need all of our input, not
Yes.
just one or two. We need all of our input.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, thankful for that. Thank you all. Other than that, I have nothing. Anybody else have anything they want to mention on this?
We don't, do we have a sense of what the selectman's position is? Or
We do not, and that's
what
another
Michael's
point. Having,
position is?
Michael's, we do. Michael's position is to go with what Polly said.
absolutely, yes, that's understood. He thinks that Stockbridge does not
I
need
mean,
a
I
senior
don't
center.
know that it's understood. I've not heard anything.
Oh, yes,
from
this
Michael
supports
or-
everything that Michael wants. I had a meeting with him 2 weeks ago, and he does not feel that Stockbridge needs a senior center. He says that people have their own groups in this town.
He's got a very valid point there. And it shows with the lack of numbers that come here to the events, and he's valid point. But when you consider how many seniors we have in this town, as opposed to even middle-aged or younger, I don't think it's fair at this point to give up on the whole thing. I just don't think it's right yet. I
Right.
mean, I think we have to look at all of our options. Get it, and one other thing, that I found a little bit, and maybe it's just me, but I found the newsletter to be almost too much information. I mean, you have to
The
keep.
latest ones, yes.
Yeah, it was just, okay, then you flip the page, oh, there's more. And then some people don't even flip the page and they just,
Right, right. We can simplify those.
I think that would be a much better thing.
Well, and it was also mentioned to me that we shouldn't even be sending so many newsletters out. Do it twice a year, and I totally disagree with that. The people I know that come like to have it on their refrigerator to know what's going
What's
on.
going on,
Yeah.
yeah. I think so too.
But it is the cost of mailing and such, but we don't have any other costs right now.
Right, right.
So to me, it's worth it to have a reminder to our senior citizens that we're here and we are doing things.
Right. And hopefully catch their interest so that they come
Right.
to the events. And I have to admit that sometimes in the wintertime,
Of course.
but spring is right around the corner.
It is.
So you think.
Yeah, Ron?
Yeah.
Um,
And I think historically, it's always been a struggle to get people to come.
It is with
Since
senior
the
centers, period.
very beginning, right?
Yes, but also for other things. I mean, and the veterans, they have a hell of a time getting people, the vets that come out for the parade, Memorial Day parade.
Yes.
mhm.
Yeah. Yes.
And
It's becoming to the point whether those are going to continue or not. Because there's not
Isn't
enough
that
vets.
sad?
yeah, that is. That is. But yeah, it's funny. Better Memorial Day parade, okay? I do usually, I'm always glad that I do go to it because
Me
I'm
too.
seeing,
Right,
I'm
right.
seeing all kinds of people and I'm stopping to talk to
Yeah.
not just people that I see in the library or Price Chopper or wherever, but it's just really nice to get out there,
Right.
so
Yeah, it
if
is
we
nice.
can.
It's a nice
It's
event.
It is. It really is. And once people go out there, they realize, oh, I had a good time.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that. I'll do it again next year or whatever
Right.
the case may
Right.
be.
and seeing the bands.
Yeah. Oh, God, yes. Who doesn't like a
And all
marching
the fire
band?
trucks.
Yeah.
Who
Fire
who
trucks.
doesn't
It's-
like a marching
It's
band?
great for young families, for the
Yeah.
children to see.
Yes.
Right.
You only got one band now. They,
Just Monument?
Monument, but Monument's only got basically one band that marches. They take the middle school and the senior.
Oh,
Oh,
and
okay.
combine them.
okay. I
Okay.
One band is good. It's
Yeah.
good enough. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean.
One's better than none.
terrific.
Right, exactly.
Getting back to
Okay.
our peeps at the senior center, when I think of us disbanding and giving up after 3 years of hitting our heads against the wall, I think of the faces and the joy of those folks that we have come. That's me.
Okay, good.
That's me. And it makes me sad to think that we're not going to be serving them, even though it's a small crowd.
Quick question. What would happen to bingo? What would happen?
They're their own entity.
They're their own entity.
They are
Okay.
their own entity. So they continue.
Okay. All right.
Who coordinates all the other entities that we have? Your yoga,
Well, it's supposed to be the senior center director.
So will the board continue to do everything but the pancake breakfast?
That's what I'm thinking. The other things don't, it's just the Meals on Wheels that involves all of us. We can discuss doing, the reason Polly and I changed the monthly lunch now that we were doing Meals on Wheels every week was that it seemed like our numbers were getting smaller for our monthly lunches. So we discussed doing it quarterly. I think doing it quarterly, and perhaps it's because, as you mentioned in the newsletter, things got lost. And people weren't noticing that we were having this special luncheon also. I had mentioned in our last meeting when I was zealous, is that the right word? That we would do a St. Patty's Day, because I'm Irish, but forget it now. We're in our hold on and just continue. So we could perhaps in our next meeting plan I don't know, something for April, a spring fling or something, and then get flyers out in March to advertise that with our regular things.
I just always go back to thinking about how many people we had when we had Josh talking
Yeah.
about non-keg or.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to do. We need to get a
Right.
good speaker. We did get grant money that we need to use this year. And I've been thinking of, you were going to check on the person, so we'll have you
And I
checking on
will.
that for our
Yes.
next meeting.
Yes,
I also have mentioned the writer,
Kevin O'Hara
Kevin O'Hara.
is excellent.
He's,
I mean,
he's
generally draws
a little
a good
pricey,
number of people.
but we've got this money to use.
He is Irish, right?
And he
Feisty.
is Irish, yes. And I think that we can use that money how we want to be as a lecture, as entertainment, whatever. Let's go big,
Might as well,
yeah.
you know?
And get a good crowd here and really be pushing what else we do. And let's make it one of those, like in the beginning, when we had a festive crowd that was interested, with a good speaker. Anyone know Kevin? You work in a library, you must.
Oh, I've never met him I mean, I've read some of his books, but I've never met him or talked to him, that's
okay.
for sure.
I've seen him do a presentation
I have too.
he did it at the Thursday Morning Club.
Right.
In Great Barrington.
And I've done it with the Tuesday Club.
All we need is a day of the week.
Maybe we'll call us, rather than the Council on Aging, we'll call ourselves the Wednesday Club.
Yeah, Wednesday Luncheon Club.
Well, yeah,
Right.
there we go. And we'll attract more people. We need to keep our sense of humor
Oh,
here.
God, yes.
Humor works.
Yep, it does indeed.
Okay, we tossed around some things. I meant to look, should we still have our March meeting? What do you think, Andrea? Or should we, well, I guess if we're going to pursue something for April, we should have our March
I
meeting.
think we should have our March meeting. I think we should be talking.
We need to touch
about-
base with each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, what date would that be? Said
For the
proceed.
second Wednesday,
No, aren't we? Yes, second Wednesday.
13th. It is the
March
13th.
March 13th. Oh, yeah, I mentioned last time that we already scheduled that because that's my daughter Kaylin's birthday.
Right. And she reminds you.
My little Irish girl, next meeting. All right, why don't we plan that? We'll meet on the 13th. Again, bring your thoughts. Maybe I'll try contacting Kevin O'Hara and see what we get for that. I know he's busy. He
Or
takes
his
lots of
agent.
trips. Huh?
Or his agent.
Or his agent, there you go, his agent,
Right.
which I think is his wife.
Perfect.
Don't you think she was at our,
That's
I'm
probably
sorry.
the only way she gets to see him.
Yeah.
his Kevin's wife?
Yes. Oh, she comes.
Books, I think.
And they sell Kevin's books. Yeah.
Right. All right, I think as long as nobody has anything else, we can adjourn the meeting.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Did you say
Who
aye?
made the- Who made the motion? I don't, Chris made the motion. I don't know if
I
you
made the
can.
motion.
Oh, I
Nobody
second
made
it.
Who did it?
And we-
Diane?
Okay.
What, it doesn't matter.
Kathy, all right. Kathy
Thank you.
makes the motion and Diane seconds.
And we all said aye.
Aye. I'll see you guys.
Aye, aye.
Bye.
Thanks.